Good morning.
And we're watching this winter storm headed our way. We'll be filling you in on that coming up a little bit later this morning. Right now, For All Seasons is with us. And, hey, I was just thinking, if we stall long enough, we'll have them for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We'll have you winter and spring if you stay till noon. But it's Emily and Johnny Hamilton. You guys are married, right? Mm-hmm. And Jeff Luckey. You're the luck. You must get so many jokes.
I'm so lucky. I get to be the third wheel all the time.
You married, Jeff?
Yeah, I am. My wife is actually our tour manager.
Awesome.
She's on our radio tour right now, but when we travel and play, she's there.
Great. So let's, maybe Emily, you want to start out, tell us a little bit about your group and where you guys are from and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are from Southern California, still live in Southern California. We met going to college together in 2007. Johnny and Jeff were actually playing baseball together. And a friend of mine, we were presented with an opportunity to put a band together to lead worship in chapel. So it was a Christian university. And at that time, none of us had any intentions of doing music full time. Jeff was studying business. I was studying communications. Johnny was kind of jumping around between majors, trying to figure out what he wanted to do. But we started leading kind of just in an extracurricular fashion. But began really falling in love with it. And by the time we graduated 3 years later, there were multiple people that were really affirming and just saying like, hey, this is kind of a cool thing that you guys have going. And at that point, we weren't really writing our own music. We were just leading other people's music at youth group events and conferences and again on campus. But when we graduated, we said, we'll kind of stick together and just see what happens, but also still follow like our full-time ambitions, what we had always planned to do. I was getting ready to start a master's program, and Jeff got a full-time job in finance. And
Johnny was still trying to figure it out.
Johnny was still trying to figure it out.
When he grows up, what's he going to be?
You know what? I'm going to say that Johnny was the smartest one because he left college. That's what we're going to use. That's the word we're going to use. He left college,
also
but you know what?
Dropped out.
We both do the same thing now, and I have student debt and he doesn't. So
who's the champion?
He is the smart one.
This guy.
Johnny is a self-learner. School was not his thing. But about 2 or 3 months later after graduating, we got a call from a camp that's on in Central California up in the National Forest. And they kind of said, hey, we don't know if you guys are still playing together, but would you consider coming up? We had a band drop out and we need you to come in 2 weeks and you'd be here for 2 months. And we were like, that's kind of scary, but we'll think about it. Yeah, it was a major commitment, but it was definitely this crossroads where we had to make the decision, instead of trying to juggle multiple things, this is a door that God's opening. Are we going to walk through it? And I think over the next 6 months in our own time, we all kind of came to terms with the fact this is really something that God has designed for us to do. So that was in 2010. And that's when we jumped into doing this full time. But for so much of our time together, we were just on the West Coast, like no real idea of what the Christian music industry even looked like. We were just kind of doing our own thing, doing camps and youth groups and all that kind of stuff. But we released a record in 2014, and that kind of got some attention of some labels in Nashville. Again, we were just writing songs for the students at camp. But then ended up finding Centricity, and now we're with them, and we love them so much, and now we get to release music with them. So,
all right. So, we found out a little bit about you. We love to hear you right now. So, can you set up the song you're going to sing?
Yeah. Okay. Jeff, you want to set it up?
I guess so.
I will then. That's fine. Jeff just is really great at talking about this song.
You're the communications major.
Yes. I should. Well, I just don't want to be the only person talking.
It's
like I'm talking, I'm singing. I promise there are 2 other people here. So this song is called No Other, and it is the classic song on the record that wasn't supposed to be on the record. We actually had a different song slotted to record, and the night before we were supposed to record it, we all just kind of didn't feel good about it. And the producer we were working with was like, well, do you have anything else? I'm like, well, we have this chorus, but that's about it. And so the next morning, long story short, we came in, we wrote a song, but the song is about the power that we find in the name of Jesus. And just realizing that through him and him alone, is the power to overcome darkness and fear and depression and addiction. And the list goes on and on and on, but finding our hope and our confidence in who Jesus is.
All right. No Other. That's For All Seasons on 88.7 The Bridge.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Open wide, blinded eyes, giants fall, dead men rise, sickness healed at the mention of you. Sinners chains breaking free, miracles still happening, waters part, I see mountains move. No other name carries the power to save, crushes the power of the grave, but Jesus. Open arms on the cross, oh the pain, oh the cost, by your blood all things are made new. All my chains breaking free, miracles still happening, nothing is impossible with you. No other name carries the power to save, crushes the power of the grave, but Jesus. And no other foe can silence the fear in our souls. Our Savior is King over all. Jesus, I can see strongholds coming down. I can see strongholds coming down. I can see Jesus reaching out, reaching out. Oh, I can see strongholds coming down. I can see strongholds coming down. I can see Jesus reaching out, reaching out. No other name carries the power to save, can set every darkness ablaze, but Jesus. No other name carries the power to save, crushes the power of the grave, but Jesus. And no other foe can silence the fear in our souls. Our Savior is King over all. Jesus.
Outstanding. Thank you. That's For All Seasons. Emily, Johnny, Jeff, and you guys, did you, I assume you wrote that one? Mm-hmm. Who, you sing it like you mean it, Emily. Yeah. That's,
we do.
When did you guys start writing? Was it at the camp when you had 2 months?
Yeah, we actually did.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was when we first started saying, we should kind of start putting music together. And then throughout the years, it kind of started shifting. It was like we'd release a record that was like 8 popular worship songs and 2 originals until finally it was like all originals over a span of 4 years.
Eased it in.
Yeah.
Have you had the experience yet where you go in and somebody's singing your stuff at worship?
Yeah.
We actually had, so 10 years after we would have started school at Biola, we heard that the band that was leading at orientation was going to be playing 3 of our songs. And so we went, and I was just weeping. Like 10 years ago, I was on this field and I had no idea. I thought I was going to be a kindergarten teacher at the time. And now 10 years later, here I am, and they're like leading our songs. It was mind blowing.
Wow, that's great.
That's precious.
For All Seasons, our guest here in the studio. We've got to stop for just a little break here, but if you have a question for the band, you can text it to us at 855-887-8870, and we'll pass it along. So something that maybe we haven't talked about yet, and it's on your heart, you want to ask, text it to us, 855-887-8870, back with For All Seasons on the Bridge.
Space for 2.
We have 4 All Seasons in the studio with us this morning. We're getting to know them, playing some of their music this morning. And I wanted to broach the topic of anxiety because if you aren't already dealing with anxiety, someone that you know and love probably is. I never really knew the depths of how severe anxiety and depression can grab hold of somebody until it happened to someone who I am, totally, it's someone in my family very close to me, and I realized this is very real and it's debilitating.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I noticed when I was reading a little bit about you is that you were sharing part of your story that you have struggled with anxiety.
Yeah. A couple years ago, well, I'll say all throughout college, I'm the oldest of 3 daughters, always had it together. I'm kind of the even-keeled one that in a bad situation can kind of jump in and get stuff done. And I think I had carried that weight on myself. But about 3 years ago, actually I remember Johnny and I were at our apartment, and my chest really started hurting, and it had never really happened, and I'd always kind of been a hypochondriac. And so we went for a walk, and then a couple days later, I woke up in the middle of the night, and my heart was just racing. I did not know what was wrong. I woke him up and I said, I can't get my heart rate to go down. I don't know what's wrong with me. We need to go to the hospital. And so we go to the hospital, and they run all their tests, and the nurse is so sweet. She's like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. It just feels kind of like butterflies in your chest. You're good. And that was really my first face-to-face, oh, this is something that you're going to deal with now. Because then from that point forward, I just fell into this funk of my mind just being weighed down by so many things. And I think if I look at the timing in our life, even in terms of this band, it's there was just so much unknown. And I was carrying that weight. And in a lot of ways, I still am, because I am that planner kind of a person. And so kind of throughout those next couple months, I would, to the best of my ability, just be trying to have these conversations with God about, why do I feel this way? I feel out of control. I feel like normally I could tell myself, stop feeling this way, and I couldn't just tell myself to get over it, which is normally what I could do in the past. And Johnny, my sweet husband, had to deal with just laying on the couch and him asking what's wrong with me, and me being like, I don't know. I can't get out of this funk. And so around that time, there was a friend of ours who was local who wanted to write together, and he sat down and he said, hey, I've got this chorus, that's all I really have, but I thought about you guys when I wrote it. And so I wanted to see if you wanted to work on it today. And it ended up being the chorus of this next song, Bigger Than. And as soon as he sang it, it was like my heart leapt out of my chest. There are those songs where you write them because they tell someone else's story, or they're just overall biblical truths that you really believe. But then there are those songs that you're like, I'm still walking through this, and I really need to sing this for myself. And in so many ways, I think Bigger Than will always be that for me, because the chorus just talks about how he's bigger than our fear, and he's bigger than our dreams, the bad things and even the good things, and that I just have to choose to trust him each and every day. That's all I can do. I can't have control over every little thing in my life. I have to submit it to him and choose to trust him through it all.
Bigger Than from For All Seasons on the Bridge. The Bridge with Bill and Denise. And for all seasons, Jeff, Emily, and Johnny in the studio with us. So we're wrapping up here. But I understand when you got into the area last night, you got a taste of the Chesapeake Bay.
Yes, praise the Lord.
How good was it?
Crab.
Yeah.
Delightful.
We just have like imitation crab in California. That is disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you came to our neck of the woods and you got a taste of it.
The blue crab. That's
Yeah.
what you guys eat Dungeness or something out there.
Yeah,
right?
in Seattle.
It's nothing like blue crab, right?
Where do you live?
We live in Southern California.
Where?
So I live in
LA?
Huntington Beach.
And then we're in La Habra.
Okay, awesome. Very cool. Well, we're glad you came to the right side of the on the map. I'm talking on the map.
The
It's
right
on
side of the map.
We're glad you. What's next? You guys getting ready to go on a tour here?
Yeah, so this spring we're on tour with Jordan Felice and Blanca. We're starting in Memphis and ending in Milwaukee.
It's a good place to end. That's right.
It's going to be about 23 different dates, so we're super excited to
nice.
travel with them and get that experience. Unfortunately, we're not coming to the East Coast, but hopefully we will soon.
Next time, yeah. Are you guys on staff at a church too? Do you lead worship at a church or anything? No. This
we
is touring. Is what you're
Yeah,
doing
this
now.
is full time. We've been doing it for almost 8 years now. So
Wow.
yeah, it's
Denise
been amazing.
told me, I think it was yesterday, one of your songs just had over 1 million.
Yeah, actually, our second song just hit it. So Higher, which is our first single, I think has 1.7, and then No Other just hit 1 million last week, which
Wow.
was so
Congrats.
exciting
Good
for us
for
on
you.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. All right, how about a website, Instagram or whatever? How do we find you guys?
Our website is forallseasonsmusic.com, and then on socials, we're on all the major ones, and our handle is FA Seasons. But I'm sure if you type in For All Seasons, we'll come up too.
All right, good deal. All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
type it in.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by today.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Bridge, we really appreciate it. Let's hear that song Higher. This is For All Seasons on 88.7 The Bridge.